What's up, guys? We are live. We have a special guest joining us, Hunter from Wingman Plus, who I would say, alongside me, is definitely one of the frontiers when it comes to online dating. Releases a lot of good content. So if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, definitely check it out. There's a lot of good shit in there. So yeah, man, welcome to PWF. What was the last time we ever actually done a podcast? Or if it was years ago.
Yeah, it's good to be back, bro. I think it's been like 2 years. So
Okay.
it's been a hot minute, man. But no, happy to be back, bro, and help these guys out today.
Yeah, so I noticed since then you've been getting into photography, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's something I've always kind of done like as a hobby or a passion, but it's kind of a perfect intersection, like focusing on online dating. Over the years, I've really kind of learned like what photos work and what photos don't,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
improved my photography and kind of made a lot of good connections in the space. So yeah, I've been really diving into that as well.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but what do you think about the rise of AI? Because up until 3 months ago, I used to always say I had like a list of professional photographers that I would recommend. I'd be like, go with one of these guys. But nowadays, I'm just pushing everyone to this AI program because I just feel like it's easier and cheaper, and sometimes better, depends on factors. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, AI is definitely getting better, bro. Like I always kind of knew that it would improve over time. Like AI moves so fast. Like a couple of months ago, all the AI photos I saw were pretty shit.
Yeah,
Like they've gotten a lot better really
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
I saw your stream on that too. I was pretty impressed. Like I think, bro, I look at kind of like a long-term vision, and I think like how much money these dating apps have in keeping their business alive. Like we're talking billions and billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
I think if we look at it, like right now, there's early adopters to AI photos, and I've heard mixed results on like how well they do. Some guys are crushing it on some apps, other apps not so much. So it kind of varies. But if this really gets like adopted by everyone, like let's say every guy is just using crazy AI photos on the yacht, on the helicopter,
Right, right.
Everest with his dog, it's going to get to a point where like these guys start showing up to actual dates with women, and dating apps are going to get a pretty bad reputation from women where they're like, yo, every guy I meet looks like Leonardo DiCaprio on the app, and then I meet up and he's like some basement dweller. So I could see the apps cracking down on it because we both know like if women stop using dating apps, they die. Like
Right.
right now, less than 30% of users are female. So they're doing anything they can to keep women on the app. It's probably why women get like every time they swipe right, it's a match. Dating apps have kind of created the ultimate validation machine for women just to keep them on there. That way it attracts guys into the app, and we're the ones who pay for like premium subscriptions, Tinder Gold, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money on the line for these dating apps. I would think that they're probably going to do everything in their power to crack down on this to prevent it from getting to that point where like the apps just have a ruined reputation from AI catfishing. There'll probably be a bit of a game of cat and mouse there between like the AI guys and the dating app guys, but I just think there's so much more money at stake for the dating app companies that I think they're pretty savvy. They'll probably figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's a definitely a fair argument, and that's crossed my mind before as well. The counter argument to that would be, can like you said, it's gonna be cat and mouse, but can they even catch on? Because and this is specific to Julius, I guess. I think that you're right for most AI services, but the one that you saw in that stream, if you take one of his photos and put it at like one of those, AI checker websites that like check if the photo is AI, they show up clean, because he has like some code in there that makes it show up clean. So I wonder if they'll even be able to tell with certain AI things like Julian. I also don't think this is going to be something every guy's going to be doing. Actually, I think this is going to be a small percentage of men who are going to use. I think most guys are going to continue using shitty selfies. I think that's just the future of Tinder, is just shitty selfies. And that's just going to be the majority of men, like so many guys have like bad beliefs, like, oh, putting in work is like low value or just shit like that. So I don't know, but I guess we'll see what the future is.
I
But
think
okay,
like
to change gears, go ahead.
I just want to chime in on that. Like, I think AI photos are kind of the perfect opportunity for those guys who think like putting in any effort or even investing in self-improvement, like guys who hate on that or don't want to do it. Like, bro, you could literally be in your mom's basement, like playing Fortnite all night and then look like a celebrity with AI. So I think those are the types of guys that it actually might target the most. As they're like right now, the one that you recommended is probably the only good one I've seen out there. But as more competition pops up and drives the price down, like let's say a pro AI profile is like $10, I could see a lot more guys doing it because just so much easier than like actually putting in the effort of looks maxing, getting a good photographer, learning how to pose, getting your outfits together. Like doing a photo shoot is a lot of work. So I could see it taken over in a pretty big way. I think one way the apps can get around that is almost like the app Be Real, like that social app where you take a photo in the moment and it gets posted automatically. I could see dating apps having like at least one photo in the profile carousel being like, hey, you got to do a Be Real photo like once a week or else your profile won't be active. Just to
Yeah,
show them like what you actually look like. It's a pretty like easy workaround.
yeah, that's true. I guess right now it's working, but yeah, who knows? You know, it's hard to predict the future. I find that these apps are so quick to ban guys for no reason at all. Like I learned recently there's a subreddit. It's called Swipe Helper, but it seems to be really just about people who got unfairly banned from an app, kind of bitching about it. And that these apps are just like so ban heavy, and that there's no recourse ever. There's no one you can talk to, there's no one you can reason with, there's no explanation. And if you have like Tinder Gold, they still keep charging you. They'll still keep charging you, which creates an interesting dilemma because how are you supposed to cancel your Tinder Gold? Like, okay, if you're using your App Store account to pay, right? If you're paying through your App Store, then it's easy. You go under your subscriptions. But what if you are on like Tinder or Bumble, or whatever? What if you are paying with a credit card directly, not going through your App Store directly, right? Well, there's really no way you can cancel that if you can't log back into your app. Like the only thing you can do is call your credit card. So yeah, that's kind of a side tangent, I guess. But yeah, so like these apps are just so ban heavy, and it's like pretty ridiculous.
And
Uh,
there's like no checks and balances on them. Like they don't even have to tell you why you were banned.
yeah,
I guess you can request your data, but you probably won't find the ban reason there. But beyond just like getting billed and getting ripped off financially, like I think it's a bigger issue, bro, with these tech companies in general.
yeah,
Like if you look at the Match Group, they own pretty much every dating app out there other than Bumble. So they have
yeah.
a complete monopoly on dating. And if you ask new couples where they're meeting right now, like it's usually not at the club, it's not at Run Club. It's usually not like, oh, he approached me in the bookstore. Like more than half of relationships right now are starting online. So if
Well, just to kind of that's what I thought, but then I did my street interview where went up to couples, asked them where they met. For again, maybe Miami's a little different, but it was about 25% of couples that met online that I found. And then I've looked into studies on this, and according to studies, the number varies, but it's somewhere between 30 and 40% of couples that meet online. So it's not 50 yet.
that's a lot, bro. That's a
It's,
lot of
it's, a,
couples.
it's a good amount for sure.
Yeah, so I think if one company has a monopoly on basically the way that most couples meet right now, and then you get banned from that monopoly with no appeal process, no reason, and you basically have to go into like, dark internet mode to start a new account, like get a new device,
Yeah.
new credit card, new SIM card, all that BS. It's a pretty big conflict where like I've been banned from dating apps too, and like they didn't tell me why. And I think it's unfair. Like I had a lot of social media clout, so I just DM'd these dating apps and said, "Hey, I make dating content. Unban my account." And like within minutes, my shit was unbanned.
Oh,
But for
really?
yeah, yeah, bro.
Oh shit. Okay, I need to do that because I've been banned from like every dating app. So you just DM. Who did you DM specifically?
I don't want to say specifically, just for like I don't want to get them in trouble or anything like that, or like put myself on the line where they ban me again.
All right, just let me know offline then.
Yeah, I would say like the big dating apps that probably come to mind, like the big three, they've all done this for me. Just
Real.
over
Okay, this is fascinating. I did not know about this.
yeah.
I'm
Which
learning.
I don't know. I think it's unfair because like if I didn't make dating content, I'd be like all the guys out there who got banned for no reason. Then like I'm the type of guy like I'm busy, bro. I don't really want to go out to the park cold approaching girls. I don't like drinking. I try to be pretty healthy, so like going out to the bar and club isn't really for me. Like online is where I really rely on for dating and meeting people. So like to be banned from that across the board is like it actually kind of like is a little life ruining. It sounds kind of shallow and pathetic to say like, oh, I can't online date, my life is over. But for a big part of my dating life, like that is a huge impact.
Yeah, in these situations, if you're not a hunter from Wingman Plus, the solution is to get a burner phone. You can get one on eBay for like $30 or on Amazon for $40, and create a new account with a new phone number. There's services where you can get a new phone number for $5 if you don't have access to Google Voice because you don't live in America. And yeah, but I find for Hinge is a little different because Hinge, you can do all that and still get banned. Like I think Hinge actually scans your face. So I think for Hinge, you need totally new photos.
Whoa. I've heard that you could change the metadata in the photos too.
Yes. So including that, I have people who've done all that. They changed the metadata or stripped the metadata, but it still did facial recognition. They still got banned. I mean, could be Wi-Fi, same Wi-Fi network, hard to say.
Yeah.
But I feel like Hinge is like extra like goes like Nazi about this shit.
Yeah, that's what I have some guys in my community who've tried the AI photos, and that's the app too where they said like it's just really not performing. So I wonder if they have like kind of a crackdown on that too. I'm not too sure.
Not from what I've heard. Not with the everyone in my community uses the Unreal Photos, so not with that. I haven't really heard of any stories of anyone being banned. But just specifically getting the AI photos, I'm just talking about regular people who like just have regular photos who got banned, and like how they were able to get on Tinder and Mumble, but Hinge is just like the one that keeps banning them. Uh, yeah, so it's a fucking pain in the ass. But anyway, let me jump to this. So you know, you're pretty active in the online dating space. What are some like recent I don't know, innovations you've had, like things you've learned in specifically in the last 2 years that have improved your results?
Yeah, I'd say like I've learned a lot about photos, especially like doing a lot more photography. So I think there's been like eras of dating apps, like back in like the 2016, I'd call kind of like early era. Basically, like you could get matches without putting in a lot of effort.
I
Like,
would call that the golden era. The early era I would call 2014 to 2016.
yeah, I'd say it was like probably the golden era, bro. Like you could get on there, post
It was.
whatever. Like girls were just down to meet up. Like it was pretty chill.
It
You
was
know?
it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd say there was kind of like this hipster era after that, maybe like 2018 to like kind of like 2020, 2021, where all anyone had was just like really low quality, like Android, iPhone photos back then, like super grainy, super filtered. If you had like any high resolution photo of yourself, just like a portrait photo on your profile, you'd be like in the top 1%. And if you had a profile that was all professional photos, didn't really matter what they were, just like basically 6 portraits, you were crushing it. Like you were at the top of the stack on these apps. I think we've kind of entered a new era over the last couple of years where what I've noticed is I think it's just getting more competitive. iPhones and Androids are just taking way better photos. Portrait mode on these phones is such a game changer that like pretty much anyone can get a high resolution portrait photo of themselves or 6 of them. It's not enough right now to be in the top 1%, just to have like high quality photos of yourself. Like, I think we've entered a new era where you almost have to have a personal brand on these apps, where you have to show like a lot of different activities and like lifestyle elements that women find attractive to really get in that top 1%.
Mm. Yeah, one thing I will add, I think I partially agree with what you said. I mean, I agree with the beginning. The lifestyle thing. Uh, I mean, I wonder if like if you looked at my profile, if you would say that I show a lifestyle. I feel like I don't that much. I feel like it's just good photos. But anyway, that aside, I had this epiphany, right? So I had this assistant back in the day, not like a year ago, year and a half ago, and he had really good photos, like professional photos that I picked that should be doing well, but he wasn't getting good results, and like it fucking bugged me because I was like, what is going on here? He's not a bad looking guy. He has really good photos. We handpicked these photos. He did multiple photo shoots, but the results weren't coming in. And I started to ask a few girls around that I know, and they said, he looks too AI, he looks too fake, even though these were real photos. And so then it hit me is that nowadays, like, because of how prevalent like catfishing and all that is, you need like a selfie. You need a selfie that looks really authentic. So when he got a selfie of him like playing with my dog, then his results definitely started to improve. And so I think that nowadays we live in a world where just having all pro photos is actually not the ideal strategy. You want to have mostly pro photos, but you want to have a selfie or two. Do you agree with that?
100%. Like during my shoots with my guys, like I always whip out the iPhone for at least one or two photos. And like with those ones, it's like minimal face apping, like a couple color edits just to make the photo look aesthetic and stuff like that. But I'd say like you definitely do want to have like an iPhone photo with minimal editing on it, whether that's a selfie or still a photo that someone else took of you, maybe with a dog. What I like to do is like a date POV photo. So basically like fill a table with like nice pastries, get a latte for each person at the table. And then the guy in the photo will basically be like holding the cup kind of like this, like looking at the camera, smiling, or like looking off to the side, smiling. And then the person taking the photo will be in portrait mode 2x. So you got to like lean back pretty far for that. But then they'll kind of hold their coffee in the foreground like this, which is basically like a date POV photo. So basically it looks like, hey, I was on a date with a girl. She took a photo. She hard launched me on Instagram. Now that we broke up, like I'm going to take that photo, throw it up on my dating app and kind of show women like I've been hard launched before. Like that's like a really, really effective way to use an iPhone photo with minimal editing that we found a ton of success with.
Okay, that's a good tip. What are some other like I guess epiphanies or things you've learned in the last 2 years that you find have improved your results or clients' results?
Bro, I've made a huge epiphany when it comes to like text game. So
Yeah,
I
tell me.
used to recommend to all my guys, like, hey, if you're on the dating app, you should usually get off the app because women don't always check it. You might get buried in other matches. You want to be in a more exclusive inbox when you're setting up the date. There's obviously like exceptions to that rule, but in general, good to get off the app. I would always recommend like get her phone number and move it to text because you're in the most direct inbox on her phone. What I've kind of realized lately, bro, is like Instagram is such a game changer. Like if you have an optimized Instagram profile, so your photos are on point, you remove your tagged photos from 10 years ago that you probably forgot exist. That's like the first thing women look at as they go through your tagged photos. Make sure you have more followers than you're following, or at least like a kind of an even number of follower to following ratio. And then posting like high level stories. I call it ammo. Like basically throughout your week, get ammo of like sick photos of cocktails, coffees, cool locations that you're at. And then when girls are like ignoring you in the DMs, just throw up some ammo on your story. It performs really well. I think if you go from like setting up the date instead of doing it on the number or on the dating app, setting it up on Instagram, like if things on the dating app are going well, being like, hey, shoot me your IG, let's take it from there. It is such a better tool than just iMessage for setting up dates and keeping interest, especially if you want to set up a date like a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Like if you're just a busy person, Instagram is the best way to keep their interest high if you implement those strategies. Like a lot of the time with the stories, women will slide into your DMs if you're posting the right types of stories. Like they'll be hitting you up being like, yo, where is this? Can you take me there sometime? So that's been a big epiphany for me. I used to think Instagram was just a big time waste, but it's actually become a lot more effective.
Hmm. Interesting, but you would agree that a very small percentage of guys have actually like good Instagrams, right?
I would agree. Yeah. I think there's also like not a lot of information out there for guys of how to optimize that, to be fair. Like I feel like women kind of intuitively understand how to have an aesthetic Instagram and how to look like important on Instagram. Whereas most guys, like we haven't archived a photo ever. Like we've got like photos of sandwiches from 2014 on our Instagram. We got like 300 posts on our main feed, and maybe two of them deserve to be there. So probably something I'll make a video about pretty soon, just like how to optimize your Instagram profile for dating. Because if you can figure it out, like yeah, it's a little bit of work to go through and like edit your profile and all that. But it's such a game changer once you do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Would you be open to just taking a look at your Instagram, just screen sharing it, and then we can point out like what makes a good Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop here. Can I send it to you and you can pull it up?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Do you often meet girls through Instagram directly, or not really?
I'm not a big fan of sliding in the DMs cold. I've
Uh-huh.
had some success with it, but it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, like just getting so many matches on the apps that like the idea of like cold DMing or like cold approaching just doesn't really seem like the best use of effort or time.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. Yeah, I've had success with it, but I would say the ROI is definitely on the lower side.
I
So
actually used some of your tips. You made a video a long time ago. I think it was like finding a trendy bar or like restaurant in the city and then like going to the location tag and seeing all the tagged photos and then being like, hey, you in Miami? Like
yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's like a pretty effective technique, bro.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I didn't come up with that though, to be fair. I got that from someone else. I don't remember who though. All right, let's share my screen. Take a look. Okay, we got 12,000 followers, only 407 following, so we got a good ratio there. Just okay, let's see. We got the first photo, definitely a good photo. Second photo, third photo. Let's look at some of your captions though. Oh,
Bro, no
this
need,
one.
honestly.
You don't do captions?
No, man. I almost never do captions unless Drake dropped a fire song and there's like a line in there I want to throw in. I just keep it like no caption poppy, you know?
Really? Okay. I'm a big fan of the captions. Oh shit, you only have like 15 photos.
Yeah, bro. I used to have a lot more, but I archived most of them. I kind of realized dating, like Instagram is a dating app, bro. So like everything on there needs to be on point. Like what I found on dating apps is you're only as good as your worst photo. You can have the best profile in the world, but if one photo gives her the ick, like she's swiping left. I feel like Instagram is kind of the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit more forgiveness on Instagram, but yeah, if one photo is really bad, sure. Um, I do feel like some girls. Oh, you don't have any. You don't like doing highlights either.
No, not really. Not really. Highlights are cool to see like how who's stalking you. Like if you go to your highlights and see like, okay, I posted like 20 stories. Did someone look at all of them? You could go to that level of detail. But I kind of like the vibe of like, yo, when I post, that's the time to see it, and then I ghost. Like catch me while you can type beat.
Do you do a lot of stories?
Yeah. Yeah, I do stories pretty consistently. So like basically anytime I'm on a date, I'll throw up a story of like cocktails, locations, stuff like that. But I'll usually post it as like a later gram rather than like at the exact time I'm out because that's ammo for me. I'm already on a date. I don't really need a date that night. But like let's say I've got 20 DMs sent out. I'm being left undelivered on most of them. If you throw up like a heat-seeking missile on your story, those girls are all going to look at your story and then think to themselves, oh shit, he can see that I was looking at his story. If I don't DM him now, I'm gonna look like an asshole. So okay, I'm gonna respond to that message. A lot of time they'll even like swipe in with even more interest after seeing your story. Like if they see that you're on a date, like you have a photo of like an old fashioned in your hand, a wine glass in a girl's hand with like a manicured nails, they're gonna slide in pretty quick on that.
Yeah, that's like kind of I guess controversial. I don't know how else to describe it, but there's like so there are some guys that definitely like they show that kind of stuff like basically social proof or pre-selection, and it works wonders for them. But there's also other guys who do the same exact thing and then they lose the lead. And my hypothesis is that it has to do with which category the girl mentally has put you in. If she has put you in the fuckboy category, then I think it's going to help you. But if she put you in the regular nice person category or like stable provider category, then it's actually going to hurt you. What do you think about that?
Dude, that you read my mind. I was gonna say if you're like a nice guy and you're throwing up stories like that, girls are gonna like lose interest pretty quick. I think it's because they see you as more of a relationship type guy. So if you're putting something like that up, you're basically like soft launching a girl in their mind. You're like, okay, he's not interested. He's with someone else. It's whatever. But yeah, if you're like in the F boy category, it's kind of what they've come to expect at that point.
Yeah, I'm quite fond of being in the fuckboy category. Actually, I like when a girl says you're a fuckboy. I'm like, yeah, like
Yeah.
I like that. That's the category I want to be in because you can easily go from fuckboy to relationship guy, but you can't go from relationship guy to fuckboy.
Whoa, bro, that's an epiphany right there.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
sick, bro.
yeah. Curious, what do you think about my Instagram? So I do use highlights. I think, mine. I think the thing is that like some of my posts make me come off as a douchebag. So I try to counterbalance that with captions and like cute dog shit. So like for example, I have one that's just like my dog.
Okay.
It's actually ultra fucking cute. Every time I look at this, I'm like, this is cute as fuck.
That is, yeah.
Okay, so then this is my non-douchey way of trying to, or semi-douchey way of showing off my body. Here's just a nice place I was staying then. This is me in Prague, showing that I travel. And then I probably should have more highlights if I was like actively trying to date. But so here's like some, this wouldn't be social proof because I'm showing off my YouTube. I guess a type of social proof.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
this is this is also social proof. Me at a podcast, attractive people, blah blah blah. And then I counterbalance the douchiness of posing next to Lamborghini by saying mandatory douchey Miami Lambo pick.
Oh, that's
Uh, yeah, I try to do that a lot. So here's just this caption is nothing special. So here's on the way to church. So I rely on humor a lot. Nothing to see here, just a man and a dog on a romantic balcony. Uh, and this kind of goes. Fun podcast with Canada's favorite mayor. I guess you would need to know. So Nikki Benz is a porn star who ran for mayor in Canada. So I made a joke.
okay.
But yeah, so that's basically my IG. Who wants to rub baby oil on my abs? It's like shit like that.
That's hilarious. Do you just come up with these, or do you have like
Yeah,
a
yeah. Just
yeah,
come up with these. Yeah,
fire, man?
it's
All right,
it's
so now I would say this is where we're getting into the archive territory because this is like some pretty old content here.
yeah. Although my argument would be is that it makes girls feel more comfortable when they see like a track record.
That's fair. I just don't know if you need such a big track record. Like you got a lot of pretty old stuff in there. I'd probably like archive a good chunk of it,
Hmm.
just to keep your profile more aesthetic. Like I think there's actually a benefit to having fewer photos than more on Instagram. I used to post everything, bro. Like twice a week, I'd be putting up main feed posts. And what I kind of realized, like what's performing really well right now, this actually came from the CEO of Instagram, is carousels that are really long with like a trending song on them. So if you go to my Instagram and look at my most recent post, I've got like a fat carousel. I was in Vegas for like 3 months, just shooting content, like doing cool shit. I actually met Dana White, which was pretty cool. And I took that 3 months of content and behind the scenes and just put it in one carousel. So like you don't really need to post a lot on Instagram on the main feed. You just want to like when you do post, make it absolute fireworks. What I notice a lot of guys do is they take the photos in their camera roll that maybe they got from a trip. I said, okay, I want to post my Bali carousel. Like, which of these photos do you think would be like good for the Bali carousel? And like they're hell bent on like I need one of these photos of me at the sunset, but then like they're all crappy photos. Like of that particular location, they all suck. It's like it's way less about that quantity than it is about the quality. Like every photo in your carousel needs to be high quality. You can even put videos in the carousel too, which actually goes a long way. But if you can do both quantity and quality, which just takes more time to stockpile up, your carousels are going to be fire. And then you kind of have that effect of like you can still have 100 photos on your Instagram, but it only looks like 15 posts. It's the power of
Hmm.
carousels. Those are working really, really well right now. Like I personally wouldn't really post a standalone photo anymore in 2025 because the algorithm just buries those on Instagram.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Although one thing I hate for carousels is when people post like a variation of the same exact photo, where it's like they're like it's like a selfie, and then the angle is like 0.01% difference. Another selfie. I find that if you are going to do carousel, the photos should be like a bit different. You know, it shouldn't be the same exact thing, basically, with a slightly different angle.
100%. Like who I got an inspiration from this was the Nelk boys. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those guys.
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah, if you look at like Kyle's Instagram, I think his Instagrams run really, really well. He's obviously an influencer, but like you go to his carousel and it'll be like a photo of like him and Tom Brady, and then a photo of him on a jet ski, and then a photo of him playing street hockey with like a famous hockey player, then a photo of him at the club like pouring happy dads on fans. Like every photo is a completely different vibe, but the carousel as a whole tells a story. He's like, hey, I was partying in Miami this week, right? And it's like showing his week. Now, for most average guys, we don't do that much cool shit in a year, right? Yeah. Take the time that you need to actually like assemble these carousels and post them properly. But that's who I got inspiration from. And yeah, if you look at the most recent carousel, like my Vegas one on my Instagram there, you'll see like every photo is a completely different vibe. Like one's like me on a ATV in the desert. One's me at Alex Hormozy's office. One's me shaking hands with Dana White at Power Slap. I've got cool photos of me just around Vegas, like looking cool, like dating style photos. So just really mix it up.
Oh shit! What were you doing with Alex Hormozy?
I went to his like his scaling workshop.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically he has like I think like 40 entrepreneurs in the room, and it's like a 2 or 3 day kind of seminar workshop. You get to meet Alex, meet his team. They just go over like how to scale your business.
Pretty Is cool, it? Man. How much does it cost?
That's 5 Gs.
Oh shit! Did you find it was worth the money?
I did, yeah. Just the connections alone, like the people in the room. A lot of people I've just seen on reels. I'm like, oh shit, like you're here too. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's cool to like where I come from, like in Canada, at least in my network, you don't really meet a ton of entrepreneurs. I think the most of the entrepreneurs who are talented kind of leave Canada and just go to the US. So yeah, being in a room just full of like I was the smallest fish in the room. Everyone there is like completely crushing me at business. Right. I love being in a room like that where like I'm at the lowest level and I have so much to learn. So for me, it was totally worth the money. Okay. Yeah, like the time you get with Alex is like it's like an hour a day. It's not even like you don't really get a lot of Hormozy time. But you do get like one-on-ones with his team at acquisition.com, and they're pretty solid. So yeah, overall I learned a lot, made some good connects, and I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, Hormozy is one of the very few like business coaches that I would actually trust. Or I don't know, I haven't looked into him too closely, but he seems pretty legit. What were you doing with Dana White?
Basically, there's this event called Power Slap.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So Dana White started this league where people just slap each other in the face.
Yeah.
And I was living in Vegas. It was actually my last night in Vegas before leaving for Tulum. And I saw that Power Slap was in town. And usually you need like 1 million Instagram followers to get the invite for influencers. Oh. But I've snuck into events many times in my life. Like I met Conor McGregor at a UFC event in Vegas just by walking backstage, like under the octagon. Like I kind of knew in Vegas security's kind of shit. So me and my boys just went to Power Slap. We asked like, hey, where's the VIP entrance? And we just walked right in. Like no security.
Shit. There was no security there checking to make sure you have tickets or whatever.
There was like windows where the security was like on point, and then windows where they were just like on their phones. So we just kind of waited for the opportunity, walked in, and bro, like I met everyone. Like Andrew Tate was there, like a bunch of UFC champions, tons of celebrities, like Rey Mysterio was there. Dana White was pretty cool. Like, yeah, it was a pretty good time, man.
Yeah. Well, now there's no way Dana White's going to see this. Be honest. What do you actually think about power slapping? Because I think it's the most retarded shit ever. Personally, I just think it's the dumbest fucking sport. But, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm not gonna go like turn it on when it's streaming, but I will say like one time I've had a bunch of friends over, like having a bit of a party, and we just kind of put power slap on in the background, and it is like the perfect party sport because you can basically like chill, socialize, do whatever. And then there's like a timer where like, you know, at the end of this 90 seconds, someone's getting slapped in the face. So like every 90 seconds, just kind of like, oh, you just watch someone get knocked out and then you go back to what you're doing. So I think it's like the perfect party sport, but I'll be honest. Like I was there live. there was probably like 300, 400 influencers in the room, and not one of them were watching the power slap. Like it was just all network.
Yeah. I feel like have you heard Dana say like that power slapping is going to be the biggest sport? When he says things like that, I'm like, dude, like you think this is going to be bigger than the fucking UFC, which you basically, you didn't create, but you basically made it popular, like which requires skill, talent, decades of training versus just like, boop, like I don't know, man. But anyway, that's I guess neither here or there. Let's take a look at some questions. Actually, there's
Yeah,
a
let's
few
hit up
of
the
those.
Q&A.
All right, let's see.
While you look those up, I'll say like when I was in Vegas, one of my Uber Eats drivers was a power slap fighter.
Oh, okay.
He's the crazy Hawaiian, big dude.
So I guess Dana is keeping the tradition of not paying his fighters well, extended to his other league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough, bro. That's tough.
Hi, Alex. What video do you have that talk about picking up a girl you used to talk to but haven't in a while? But trying to, I mean, that's like a lot of my videos. I talk about picking up a girl. I'm not really sure the exact video you're referencing, but whatever it is you're looking for, you can just type in PW playing with fire and then just type in something that describes the video. Is saying to a woman, "I want us to exchange numbers and hook up sometime," a direct approach? Yeah, that's like a autistic direct approach. That's not even a direct approach. That's autistically direct. But so yeah, it doesn't get much more direct than that.
I've definitely used that one at the club, bro.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
How does it usually go?
I think if you say it with like enough humor, it can go pretty well. But if she's not attracted to you, it's pretty much harassment at that point.
Yeah. Is this something that I should start saying if I want to hook up with women? I don't think it's something you should start saying personally. I think you should be a bit more subtle in that. You can just be like, "Hey, listen, let me get your number and we can get a drink sometime." I think that's good enough. And then you invite her straight to your place. I think that gets the point across. Uh, Alex, are you still friends with Avery? He seems to be flaking and not coming on your channel. Was it because no, we're still cool. I ran into Avery like 3 weeks ago and we filmed a bit. Me and Avery are totally cool. I think just honestly, he's moving from what he told me, and so I think he just got sidetracked with that. I'm sure he's gonna text me any minute being like, sorry, my bad, bro. So he'll come on at some point. Do you have no choice but to be less than 15% body fat, or else you won't have good results? What's your take on this?
Bro, I've had like insane results with a barrel for like most of my adult life. Like I don't have abs. I had abs back in college when I was wrestling, and then once I stopped doing that and like tore my knee, I just started eating, bro, and like not working out for a long time. So short answer, no. Like you can still, have a little barrel and do pretty well. But I would say like if you are obese or like super overweight, your results are going to get significantly better when you cut your weight down. Like, bro, if I had abs, I'd be an unstoppable force, to be honest. So I would definitely recommend just getting in shape, bro. You're going to feel a lot better. One of the biggest benefits of low body fat too is your face just gets way more chiseled. It's like one of the easiest ways to have like better jawline, cheekbones, just look more attractive is to lose some weight. So I'd recommend it. What do you think?
I agree with everything you said. I don't even have anything to add to that. That's definitely very true. Okay. Hey guys, greetings from Germany. It's 4 a.m. there. How you all doing profile reviews and work? No, we are not doing profile reviews. But you can post in my free forums or in my mastermind group. Okay. How to be calibrated when you approach women? What's your take here?
Bro, I honestly like never approach women, if I'm being honest. Like
Really?
I don't really do day game, bro. I do night game like at the club, but I don't really party too much anymore. So it's not really something I do.
That still counts as approaching at nighttime at a bar. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all approaching.
Yeah, I'd say like when I'm doing it at the bar, like I'm really looking for like signs of interest. I think that matters probably more than day game, where I think like people aren't really out at the coffee shop like looking to get hit on. But at the club, I think like most girls kind of know like guys are going to talk to them. So what I do is just look for like if a girl's like looking at me or like if I'm on the dance floor and she keeps bumping into me, like I kind of know that she's interested. So what I'd say is like when you are getting those signs of interest, you can't think. You just have to act. Like you just have to go right in and say the first thing that comes to your mind. Obviously, if you have a bit of a game plan or some canned lines that are go to, it's going to help you out a little bit. But I'd say like the best way to stay calibrated is to just act and not think.
Mm.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Alex?
My, so my take is this. I think that you should not pre-calibrate, you should post-calibrate. So I'm not sitting there before the approach thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do this differently. I'm just gonna approach her like as soon as I see a girl I want to approach, I'm gonna try to approach her within seconds, right? Like really fast. I don't want to sit there thinking how I'm gonna adjust my approach. I don't think that's a good strategy. Then I go in, and then based on her reaction, then I will calibrate. So let's say I go in a bit strong, right? Like I go in, I'm like, hey, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. And she's like, hi, right? And she's kind of leaning back. Then I'm gonna, take a step back and maybe lean back a little bit too, and just maybe start the conversation with something casual. I'll be like, how are you enjoying your evening, ma'am? Or something like that, something chill. Versus if the girl's like leaning into me and she's like, oh, hey, Alex, I'll be like, hey, you. So what are you doing tonight? Like, right. So just I'll calibrate based on the girl's behavior. And I think that's what you should do rather than trying to pre calibrate. Why is it so hard to find men that support cold approach? The comments on these IG, TikTok cold approach is always so hypocritical. I'm saying never approach. Yeah, I mean, like you can't. The people who are in the comment section, IG or TikTok, are not the average person. They're not reflective of the average person. The average person is not commenting on cold approach videos. There's a lot of guys who do cold approach without realizing they're doing cold approach. They just call it talking to girls or rizzing up girls or whatever. I see a lot of that in Miami, but they have no idea what the pickup community is at all. So I think the average guy, if you explain cold approach to them correctly, is going to be totally on board. What do you think?
Bro, one little tidbit I'll say is like I find cold approaching so much easier when there's a camera. Like if it's
Oh,
even
really?
if yeah, I don't know like if it gives me confidence. Like I used to do prank videos, bro. So like most of my approaches were just like pranking girls and it would give me this insane confidence. So maybe it's just the way that I kind of got into it. But I would say for guys who are looking to get good at cold approach, like if you can find a way to get someone to like film it or like at least record your audio so you have something that you can look back on and see like, okay, how did I do? Was I stuttering here? Did she kind of give me some like shit test or some tension? How did I handle that? Like knowing that you have some sort of record of like what's being said and you can improve from that goes a long way. I found like doing it on camera almost made me feel like more comedic, like I was almost performing, which it gave me a ton of confidence as well. Like it made me feel like the stakes weren't really that high because it was like, oh, I'm just getting content. So just some food for thought. I don't know if that applies to anyone here, but have you found that too? Like I found like in street interviews and stuff like that too. Like I feel like I get a little more bubbly, a little more charisma just because the camera's on. I also feel like women are more warm to it too because they're like, oh, I'm going to be on a YouTube video. That's so cool. Like I think it kind of gives you like added status while you're doing street interviews too if you got a light and a camera on you.
Interesting. Personally, my charisma is probably the same on camera as it is off camera. Initially, I used to be better off camera, but then I shot so much infield that it kind of is now like 50-50. But in terms of girls' receptiveness, I actually have the opposite experience. I find girls are like when I do hidden camera shit, I find that girls are more responsive than when I'm doing like street interviews with like a big camera. Maybe it's Miami because there's a lot of people who are doing street interviews here. So maybe the girls here are like turned off, or maybe I'm just approaching a lot of fugitive girls. I don't know. But I find that girls are more receptive when they don't know there's a camera.
Yeah, they know ICE is watching, bro.
Where you're doing these videos like these street reviews in Canada, right?
Yeah, yeah, in Canada.
Maybe it's like a lot less common there, which it actually definitely has to be less common there. So the girls like it's kind of like a new thing for them. Versus in Miami, it's like super common. So it like lost its
A lot of sense. Yeah.
That would be my guess.
There's probably more content creators in Miami than all of Canada. So probably
it's probably true, dude. There's so fucking many. I remember, and they all hang out in Brickell too. I remember when I started filming in Brickell, like it was pretty chill. There's not that many people there, but then like I don't think it was because of me, but maybe some of them was because of me. But then they started to like, and it got to a point where like, as I was filming, within my immediate eyesight, I could see like 3 to 4 different content creators. I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta go fucking somewhere else. It's ridiculous.
that's brutal.
Yeah. A large portion of those IG TikTok approaches are staged. Many of the content creators are filming. Yeah, that's true. There is special IG and TikTok. There's definitely a lot of staged content. I would agree with that. I can usually tell, like, not always, but most of the time, if something is staged or something is real. Yeah. Can you usually tell as well?
100%, bro. I filmed videos for so long, like pranks and stuff like that. I assume like 90% of what you see is fake when it comes to these like hidden camera videos.
Yeah, maybe. Depends. Like, I think TikTok and Instagram has a more fake content than YouTube. Uh,
I
I
don't
don't know.
really watch on YouTube, to be honest, so I can't speak on it. I'd say like Facebook has like a lot of really fake shit too. I know
Oh,
some of the guys that make these videos, man. I met them in Bali, and they're like printing money from just the ads on these videos.
oh, really? Okay, interesting. Will you bring back the live pickup competition? Maybe if it everything falls into place. It's a real pain in the ass to do. It's very time con. It's just requires a lot of time, requires a lot of editing, blur out all the privacy stuff. So I don't have any plans to do one, but it's theoretically possible. Okay, how to tease women properly? What's your answer to this?
Good tease. I would say like you gotta be bold, bro. Like don't hold back. If you are going for a tease, like go full send. One line that's been working really, really well lately is an opener on dating apps, basically saying like cute, likes yoga, knows like where the best matcha in town is. What's the catch? So like basically saying cute,
Oh, I've been using something very similar. That's funny.
yeah, like just it's good because it's like more custom than just a copy and paste too. Like you're saying cute, and then two like non-physical traits that you picked up in her profile, something that's not about looks, because every guy's just saying, "Wow, you're so beautiful," and
Yeah.
then asking what's the catch, or like, are there any red flags I need to know about? Like that is a really playful way to kind of tease from the open and create that playful frame rather than a platonic frame from the beginning. So that's been like crushing for me. It sounds like you got a similar line too.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, exactly what you described.
Yeah, that one's been lethal, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we have. So my answer to this, how to tease women, it's like it's somewhat similar to how you tease your friends. Like you're like kind of breaking your friends' balls, right? As they say in The Sopranos. You're just like fucking around, right? It's kind of the same thing. It should be lighthearted, it should be playful, but yeah, you shouldn't be afraid. It shouldn't be corny either. Like, don't be afraid to take social risks. Is my advice. Don't be afraid of offending the girl. That would be my advice. Let's do a few more questions. So I thought about what you said, and I should definitely say I want us to exchange numbers, spend some time together. Thoughts on that version? I mean, you don't need to have like a scripted version of your clothes. Like, I'll typically just say, we should get together sometime. The girl will say yes. I'll be like, cool. Let me get your number, and I'll give her my phone. So I don't know. You don't have to be all like formal and scripted with it.
Yeah, keep it chill, bro.
Would you all say that on a dating app, 10% of the men get 90% of the matches from women?
There's probably like an exact number on that, but yeah, it's not equal. There's definitely like an 80-20 on dating apps where there's a small percentage of guys who get all the action and the most of the rest of them are just invisible. What I will say is like on Reddit and on social media, everyone says that this has to do with looks, which partly is true. But I'd say most of this is due to the fact that 90% of guys have the worst photos on earth, like the shittiest photos of all time. And they've also put no effort into looks maxing. Like most guys that are a 4 could easily be a 7 if they just looks maxed a little bit, like even slightly. So looks maxing, taking proper photos, just having the right vibe on your profile will put you in that top 10%. It's actually a lot easier than most guys might think.
Yeah, I think it primarily has to do with your photos. When I look at Reddit posts, or mainly to make fun of the people, um, I see just horrible photos for the guys who are not getting results. This is just a pattern I see time and time again. People will say, I think I'm shadow banned. I think I'm doing bad in the algorithm. And it's always, every single time, it's just that your photos suck. And you just don't realize your photos suck. You think your photos are good, but they're not. So that's primarily what it is, in my opinion. But yeah, we just flew through every question. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Bro, I've been banned on Instagram. I'm trying to get that back. So if anyone wants to follow me on YouTube, I'm going to be a lot more active there now, just because my Instagram is down. It's where I usually post a lot of my content, but yeah, I'm just going to be switching over to YouTube until I can get that figured out.
Yeah, what's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's just Wingman Plus on YouTube.
Cool, guys. Yeah, check out his channel. He posts some really good shit on there. But yeah, cool. All right, this was short and sweet. Just like my lovemaking. So good stuff. Uh, big thanks to Hunter for coming on. I'm sure he'll be back in the future. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. See you guys.
Sure.